Young nigga about that paper.
Ringo TV.
Young nigga about that paper. Young nigga about that paper. Young nigga about that paper. Yeah. True man, I'm free. I wake up a new episode. I pop out clean and skip me up a level though. She talk to me like I'm not me. I get it though. Yeah. I'm so eclectic, on me to the credits roll. Talk down to me, they might have to send medical. I'm out the league, I'm OD, they pathetic though. Look how I move, I'm protected. Shawty so swoon in my presence. The world going through it outside, they unruly, but I keep it cool, they can't press me. I keep it pure with intention. They see what I'm on, ain't no vixen. I might slide through with that top down. I keep it tuned with a high power. Put it on me, I'm blessed. Young nigga blessed. Big bag, manifest the sky, no stress. Keep no evil around me, can't ground me. I built it since when I had less. No hex on, God can't pause, nigga, look at how far we progress. Whatever we doing, we keeping it fluid, I don't see a thing. Young nigga about that paper. 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 Hop on that jet, had to switch to the coast. One of a kind, I've been playing that role. They pay me to play me, I needed it for. It's real if I said I meant what I spoke. I'm legend, it's written, I shake up the city. Spin block till I'm dizzy, won't ever go broke. I'm chose, I must like do it a top down. I keep in tune with a high power. Put it on me, I'm blessed. Young nigga blessed. Big bag, manifest the sky, no stress. Keep no evil around me, can't ground me. I built it since when I had less. No hex on, God can't pause, nigga, look at how far we progress. Whatever we doing, we keeping it fluid, I don't see a thing. Young nigga about that paper. 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 Put it on me, I'm blessed. Big bag, manifest the sky, no stress. Can't ground me, I know this since when I had less. Look at how far we progress. Fluid, I don't see a threat.
Top of the morning, welcome to the stream. Double tap that screen to give it a like. Ringo TV reactions. Make sure you rate, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Breaking news. Trump pretty much says that they got the killer. They got the killer, ladies and gentlemen. And we're going to go into this particular video and find out what's going on. Been a crazy few days. Those of you know Charlie Kirk was assassinated, and a lot of people took to social media to share their thoughts about the situation. You even had a lot of hate that been coming Charlie's ways, and it's been really, really bad. So hope everybody's having a blessed day. Thanks for stopping by the platform. Let's get into this news, find out what's going on. Let me set the video up so that we could do what we need to do. Peace and blessings to the mods in the chat. V-Dub Man in the building. What's going on to all the channel members, viewers, subscribers, and supporters. Shout out to Kenta for the $7 support. Says best show on YouTube. Appreciate you. Salute Floridine Rollo. What's going on? Put a 1 in the chat if you can all hear me good. You know what I'm saying? Everything is clear. Everything is right on your end. Let's check out this particular video here with Trump sharing his thoughts on what's going on. The information here will surprise you at what's really happening, guys. There's a lot of information going on. I'm trying to keep everything accurate. There's a lot of videos that I can actually make. At the same time, I don't want to publish nothing that is false. So I'm trying to stick to just the facts. That's it. I don't want to really put out anything that is misleading at all. So we're hearing this from Trump direct.
We were all watching that. Yeah. J.D. Vance was supposed to be with you. He went out to be with Charlie Kirk's family. and to get the body back to his hometown in Arizona. And you said you were going to award him the Presidential Medal of Freedom, which is very nice of you. Any updates on this suspect?
Yeah. Can I always say, I think, just to protect us all, and so Fox doesn't get sued, and we all don't get sued, and everything else. But I think with a high degree of certainty, we have him in custody, right? In custody. Everyone did a great job. We worked with the local police, the governor. Everybody did a great job. You know, getting somebody that you start off with absolutely nothing. And we started off with a clip that made him look like an ant that was almost useless. We just saw there was somebody up there. And so much work has been done over the last 2.5 days. You know, it's amazing, actually, when you start off with that and then all of a sudden you get lucky or talent or whatever it is. But, yeah, I think we're in great shape.
Mr. President,
and he's in custody.
Your suspicion was that he was radical left. And now you have more information. What can you share with us about his ideology?
Yeah, Lawrence, let me just, and by the way, Lawrence is doing a good job. What's going on here?
Job. Yeah.
I'll tell you what, I'm very proud of you.
Thank you, sir.
I said you were going to do well. Yeah, I think that I don't want to go too far. I'd like to tell you some stories at how it happened, but essentially somebody that was very close to him turned him in. And that happens when you had some of those good shots. Somebody is going to say, whether it's a parent or whatever, I'd rather not say right now. They're going to announce it today, sometime later, probably talk about that. But somebody close to him turned him, you know, they said, whoa. It's interesting where we had very good pictures, but not great, not perfect. And when you look at it, what happened is somebody, and this happens a lot. It happened with the crazy Boston bomber. It happened with others. Somebody that just recognizes even a little tilt of the head, which nobody else would do. And somebody that was very close to him said, that's him. And essentially went to the father, went to a U.S. Marshal, who was fantastic, by the way. And the person was involved with law enforcement, but was a person of faith, a minister. And brought him to a U.S. Marshal, who was fantastic. And the father convinced the son, this is it. And again, I'm always subject to be corrected, but you know, I'm just giving you, based on what I'm hearing, they'll give you a much more active. I just heard about it 5 minutes before I walked in. As I'm walking in, they said, looking real good. They have the person that they wanted. So you have breaking news, don't you, huh?
Thank you.
You always have breaking news, Ainsley. Sean's going to be very disappointed that we're not doing it on his show.
He'll be very thankful and appreciative of the police officers that got this guy.
They did a great job, everybody worked together. Pam Bondi is incredible, by the way. People don't know what a star she is. She's incredible. And it all worked out.
Could I ask you just some clarification? So a pastor was able to turn him in, or they got the family of the shooter to turn them in?
Well, it was a minister, and the minister went to a minister who was involved with law enforcement, by the way. And his good friend is a top U.S. Marshal. And they took it from there. And then it was a father got involved, namely his father, and said, we got to go in. And they, so I understand it. And again, subject to change. But, you know, the facts are the facts. We have the person that we think is the person we're looking for. But they drove into the police headquarters, and he's there now.
Did the father know about what the son had done?
I don't know. I'm going to let you get all those questions later, because I can't tell you how accurate. The bottom line is they have somebody that they think did it.
There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. So from Donald Trump himself, he said that basically a family member of the killer, alleged killer, for the record, basically pointed him out. And then the pastor got involved to turn him in. And they basically said, we got him. So breaking news based on the tapes, Trump said that they have the killer who assassinated Charlie Kirk. So they would be given, most likely, a press conference about the situation. And hopefully we get more details. Now, there's a lot of rumors that are going around. I'm not going to really go into that. I could if I want, but I'm trying to keep everything with just the facts, or as close to it as possible, because it's all a developing story at the same time. And there's a lot of misinformation floating around on social media. And one of the things that I've been covering on the platform, those of you that have been watching the videos, is YouTubers, various people are celebrating the death of Charlie Kirk as if though he was this horrible person. Let me address this particular comment that I seen in the live chat. You know, somebody had posted a comment, and I want to make sure that we can address that at the same time. So let me put this on the screen so that we could talk about this. Let me make sure this is the correct one. All right. So now, let's look at this comment here. Somebody had posted this in the live chat. So let's address this comment. This person says, America is really treating this man like he was some savior. Charlie was not a good person at all. You're literally standing in the shadow realm. You're in the shadows accusing Charlie of not being a good person. What about you? Are you a good person? Would everybody here agree that you're a good person? I don't think so. You see, Charlie is dead. And here you are kicking a man when he's dead. He was assassinated. That can happen to any of us Americans. You see what I mean? Charlie getting assassinated can bring fear to a city. It can bring fear to a nation where people will be afraid to even be out and about. Similar to the situation that happened in Charlotte, North Carolina, where the Ukrainian woman was stabbed in her neck 3 times. It'll affect the city to the point where nobody don't want to take any transportation. So issues like this, we have to talk about them. You know, you're probably anti-Charlie. I get that. You have your right to your opinion. At the same time, to say that the man was not a good person at all is ludicrous. He was a family man. He was a father. He was a believer in Jesus Christ. He spoke out about various issues, things that you wouldn't do, because I'm pretty sure you're not built to actually talk about issues like Charlie. You know, I'm not going to sit here and act like I was a follower of Charlie's work. You know, I'm not going to say that. At the same time, his death was uncalled for. You know, there's so many different people that are celebrating this man's death, and it's sick. Absolutely crazy what's going on social media right now. So to say that America is treating this man like a savior, nobody said he's a savior. Nobody said he's Jesus Christ. Nobody prays to Charlie. It's breaking news. It's headline news. It's all over the world. You know, it's not every day somebody get assassinated. You understand? When Trump got shot, it was breaking news. Charlie got shot right on the air when everybody is literally watching. Somebody wanted him dead. And based on this tape, they got the killer. So I would be very careful with how you speaking of the dead in terms of who's not a good person. Because when you die, I hope that your record is clean. I hope that you have an excuse and a good record. Because when you die, what will people say about you? Will they say you were a good person? Or will they say you were unpleasant to be around? You understand? A lot of people in the black community been bashing Charlie since he been assassinated, accusing him of being a racist, white supremacist, and various other negative things. One in particular, a content creator named New Breed, a very, very sick, racist guy. This particular content creator has went on a campaign to bash Charlie and accuse him of being a a so-called white supremacist that hates black people. And Charlie never hated black people. Charlie spoke up about issues that the black community just didn't want to hear. See, when you're white, right, and you speak out against issues, I guess in any community, you be labeled a racist. And it's just unfortunate that in today's day, you can't have an opinion. People want you dead. Now, the situation with Charlie goes deeper. His assassination goes deeper. The person who took him out didn't take him out because he spoke out against black people. You know, it's a deeper issue, guys. This man, Charlie, was hated by many to the point where they wanted him dead. But I am just disappointed with the black community that rather than us put out a prayer, give our condolences, keep it moving, instead we're bashing a man and disgracing him when he's dead, and his wife and his kids are literally mourning his death. I think that's disgusting. You know? And I'm happy to know that they got him. I'm pretty sure more news is going to come out later on, and we're going to find out the motive. How did this happen? So let's look back at the tape, guys. I'm going to talk a little bit more about this. Those of you that are now joining the show, good morning. Appreciate you all stopping by. Hope everybody's having a blessed day. If you're on the road driving safe, you know, pay attention to the road, you know. Let's get into the video again, guys, and break this thing down. Let's head into this.
We were all watching that.
Yeah.
J.D. Vance was supposed to be with you. He went out to be with Charlie Kirk's family and to get the body back to his hometown in Arizona. And you said you were going to award him the Presidential Medal of Freedom, which was very nice of you. Any updates on this suspect?
Yeah. Can I always say, I think, just to protect us all, and so Fox doesn't get sued, and we all don't get sued, and everything else. But I think with a high degree of certainty, we have him.
There you have it, guys. President-elect Trump said we got the killer. We got him. A lot of people don't understand the severity of this issue. Yes, Charlie was assassinated. But think about this. This is what a lot of people are not thinking about. Many other people could have been killed that day by that shooter. None of the people in the audience had a chance. They were sitting ducks. That man could have wiped out not only Charlie, but multiple people that day. So that assassination was an attack on all Americans, not just Charlie. But it was a personal thing. The man who did that, it was a personal assassination. But he could have took out anybody. You understand? This is why we're not supposed to be laughing and mocking. And this is where I'm disappointed with. And also, somebody got fired too. I'm going to talk about that as well. Let me see if I can kind of pull it up. Somebody also got fired. I think it was a media person got fired due to the situation. Let me see. Where is that video? An MSNBC fires analysts over Kirk comments. So somebody at this particular station was actually fired over the situation. We're going to talk about that later. But this is how serious this is. They're not playing around with this. You know, spreading hate when somebody dies, that's crazy. And you're doing it in the workplace? Of course they were going to get fired. Let's get back to what Trump had to say.
In custody, right? In custody, everyone did a great job. We worked with the local police, the governor, everybody did a great job. You know, getting somebody that you start off with absolutely nothing. And we started off with a clip that made him look like an ant. The ant thing he's referring to is the video that I did the other day. I did a video where you saw the shooter on a rooftop. And there was a lot of speculation about the particular video. People thought it was a little bug on a window. They thought it was clickbait. They thought everybody was lying. But it was the actual shooter. He was on top of the roof. Once he did what he did,
He fled the scene and he jumped off the roof, guys. And I don't know if anybody noticed, but he was injured. Well, I'm going to have to do another video later on. He was injured. When he jumped off that roof, he was injured and he was walking with a limp. I haven't heard nobody talk about it, so I'm trying to put it out there now. He was injured because he jumped off that roof. It was at least probably 2.5 stories down, and he jumped. And then he just walked off, you know, conveniently like nothing never happened. I'm surprised nobody didn't tackle him down. I'm shocked because there was people all around, you know. So he was injured. It's just crazy how did he get up there? How did he get up there? It's amazing. Again, it's all a developing story. All of these things will answer itself over time. Let's get back at the content.
That was almost useless. We just saw there was somebody up there. And so much work has been done over the last 2.5 days. You know, it's amazing, actually, when you start off with that and then all of a sudden you get lucky or talent or whatever it is. But, yeah, I think we're in great shape.
Mr. President.
And he's in custody.
Your suspicion was that he was radical left, and now you have more information. What can you share with us about his ideology?
Yeah, Lawrence, let me just, and by the way, Lawrence is doing a good job. What's going on?
Fantastic job, yeah.
Mr.
I'll
President.
tell you what, I'm very proud of you.
Thank you, sir.
I said you were going to do well. Yeah, I think that I don't want to go too far. I'd like to tell you some stories at how it happened, but essentially somebody that was very close to him turned him in.
Somebody that was very close to him turned him in, guys. That normally always happens. So you can't commit crimes and get away with it. Now, again, guys, I don't want to go into the rumor side of things. Like I have some info that I got, but I don't want to go into that because it's not confirmed. I don't want to put out nothing that somebody may have put out just to get some clicks and views. I don't want that mixed mingled with my content. But there was some photos, I'll just say, that I've seen that look very similar to the shooter. And they were floating around and it looked very accurate. And it could have been a situation where maybe the FBI got a hold of this information and the person who put that out there could have been the family member. Like I said, I don't want to, post none of that until I see it on a mainstream news page. Because a lot of times on social media, people just want the story to be out first. And they put out the information too quickly and then they end up getting in trouble. You know what I mean? So I'm not really trying to do all of that. But I believe that whoever that person was that put out that info, maybe the powers that be got that info and was able to locate the person. But they're saying now a family member pointed him out. We see this a lot where crimes happen and a mother turned her son in, a father turned their son in. We've seen this all the time. And they also saying a pastor got involved too.
And that happens when you had some of those good shots. Somebody is going to say, whether it's a parent or whatever, I'd rather not say right now. They're going to announce it today, sometime later, probably talk about that. But somebody close to him turned him, they said, whoa. It's interesting where we had very good pictures, but not great, not perfect. And when you look at it, what happened is somebody, and this happens a lot. It happened with the crazy Boston bomber. It happened with others. Somebody that's close recognizes even a little tilt of the head, which nobody else would do. And somebody that was very close to him said, that's him. And essentially went to the father, went to a U.S. Marshal, who was fantastic, by the way. And the person was involved with law enforcement, but was a person of faith, a minister. And brought him to a U.S. Marshal, who was fantastic. And the father convinced the son, this is it. And again, I'm always subject to be corrected, but I'm just giving you based on what I'm hearing.
So these are things that President-elect Trump is hearing, that the father must have spoken with the son and a pastor somehow got involved for him to turn himself in, got in contact with law enforcement and sort the issue out. And they pretty much got him in custody. So I don't know where the shooter is from. We're going to probably get all of that information as time goes on. But like I said, there's a name that's out there, but I'm not going to reveal it because again, I don't want no drama, no issues. You already got some people talking about they're suing some people. In other words, this is what I'm saying. Y'all remember when the story first broke and they had some people in custody? They had some people in custody. Well, one of those individuals is talking about suing because they were detained. They weren't the criminal, and their whole life is plastered all over social media, and people are literally giving them death threats now. So you have to be very careful with these stories. This is why that other content creator named New Breed, he put out some very misleading information, guys. Like, he literally was pointing out a particular white elderly man and said he's the killer. And, you know, yeah, it's white on white crime. And he was boasting about this stuff. He was laughing that Charlie was murdered. And he said he watched him get shot 50 times. Who does that? Who watches a man get shot 50 times and takes pleasure in this? And this is why, as viewers, I understand that you guys have busy lives. You know, you probably just kind of tune in, not doing nothing at the moment. So I'm grateful for that. At the same time, you got to be careful when you watch social media. A lot of these social media influencers, they are not really as, I guess, decent as you may think. A lot of them have ulterior motives, hidden agendas, and they try to program people to hate other people. And what that YouTuber did is he put out some misleading info about Charlie after his passing. And the thing is, he never did videos about this guy before. And this is why you have to be careful. Always consider the source, the integrity of the person, to find out if they're a man or a woman who bring value to these particular topics.
They'll give you a much more active. I just heard about it 5 minutes before I walked in. As I'm walking in, they said, looking real good. They have the person that they wanted. So you have breaking news, don't you, huh?
Thank you.
You always have breaking news, Ainsley.
Right.
Sean's going to be very disappointed that we're not doing it on his show.
He'll be very thankful and appreciative of the police officers that got this guy.
They did a great job, everybody worked together. Pam Bondi is incredible, by the way. People don't know what a star she is. She's incredible. And it all worked out.
Could I ask you just some clarification? So a pastor was able to turn him in, or they got the family?
Okay, guys, we got some news 3 minutes ago. The shooter name is Tyler Robinson, 22, named as Charlie Killer's murderer, the murder suspect. So let me put this on the screen for the record. This is an update. I just kind of went to Google real fast. See, this is why I'm glad I didn't put out that other name. The other name that I had was not the name. Good thing I didn't put it out there. See what I mean? This is why when you're doing content, you got to stick to the facts. Got to stick to the facts, guys. You know, because that's what makes you a credible source and make people come back to your platform, is when you actually speak to the truth. But if you're out here just lying and clickbaiting people to get a click and a view, that's not going to work. So this is an update. So Tyler Robinson, 22-year-old man, threw his whole life away, 22 years of age, is named as Charlie Kirk's murder suspect, guys. Man, this is absolutely crazy. Let me go to this particular website so I can see what's going on. Let me see. I hope they don't got no background music playing with this. So it says, we got him. Utah Governor Spencer Cox says the suspect, Charlie Kirk's killing, has been caught. Man, there's so much information, guys. So much information to cover. This is wild. So it says Charlie Kirk's murder suspect, named as Tyler Robinson, 22, as officials thank his family for doing the right thing. So that confirms what President-elect Trump said in terms of the family pretty much turned him in. Let me see. Let me go here. Oh, they have a conference going. Let me listen in.
Utah. It's about a 3.5 to 4 hour drive from here, where we are right now, and that's where he lived and where they turned him in. Please, I'll go here.
About the family is saying.
I can't share any more than what I've already shared. Yeah. So how we obtained the gun? The gun was found here. So I don't have much more details on that. We do know that he drove. We had his car here on campus, and then we had his car going south back to the St. George. It's actually the city of Washington in Washington County.
Is he talking with authorities, and did he discuss a motive?
I'm sorry? We don't have any information that would lead us to believe that. Yes, in fact, it was just released. Yes.
Is he talking with authorities, and did he discuss a motive?
I can't answer that right now. Yeah, thank you. Over here.
About trying to reunite this country. Do you feel this is a watershed in American history?
I absolutely believe that this is a watershed in American history, yes. The question is what kind of watershed? And that chapter remains to be written. Is this the end of a dark chapter in our history or the beginning of a darker chapter in our history? Look, I mean, if you look at true political assassinations in this country of someone of this stature, this feels a lot like the late 60s. And having one so gruesomely displayed on camera in all of our hands and in all of our pockets, we are not wired as human beings, biologically, historically. We have not evolved in a way that we are capable of processing those types of violent imagery. And by the way, we've seen another one with a gruesome stabbing very recently that went viral. This is not good for us. It is not good to consume. Social media is a cancer on our society right now. And I would encourage, again, people to log off, turn off, touch grass, hug a family member, go out and do good in your community. That is happening, and it's happening organically right now. I had a friend in a small city in Utah who said, we're getting together, the Republicans and Democrats in my little town are getting together to have a discussion tonight, last night, just to find a way to find their better angels. So yes, this could be, I mean, again, you have to go back to JFK to have seen a video live of something like this happening. I wasn't born until 1975, but I know that things were really dark in the late 60s. Sorry to some of you. I know some of you were there. But this is our moment. Do we escalate, or do we find an off-ramp? And again, it's a choice. It's a choice, and every one of us gets to make that choice. Two more questions right here.
Could we clarify that the release of those enhanced images at 8 p.m., the timeline that Director Patel gave us, led to the arrest at 10 p.m.? Is there a direct connection between those two events?
I cannot comment if there is a direct connection or not, but all I can say is that through some process, the family came to know that this had happened.
One more thing, Governor. Could you just clarify the clothing issue you mentioned earlier? Was he changing outfits?
Correct. Yes. So when he's first spotted on campus, he has different clothing on, and then he changes clothing on the roof, and then changed back into that clothing at some point, so that when he was apprehended, when he was arrested, the clothing matched the clothing he had on before the shooting here at UVU. Last question here. Yes.
Suspect was freshman. Can you kind of tell us a little bit more about where, and was he a student here at the student, and is there any history of mental illness?
Yeah. So. I don't have any information on the mental illness part. He was not a student here at UVU. He was living and had lived for a long time with his family in Washington County. in the southernmost part of our states. Thank you, everyone, for your great work in getting this information out. I just say, process-wise, this may be important. I know many of you aren't familiar with the process in Utah. I think it's important that you understand that. Basically, we have 3 days for charging documents to be filed. A CI will be filed. We'll have more information then, more detailed information as those charging documents are filed in preparation for a preliminary hearing. So 3 days. So we would anticipate then that early next week those charging documents will be filed. We will obviously be working. The county attorney will be working very closely with Mr. Kirk's family as those documents and decisions are prepared and made. Thanks, everyone.
And that is the governor of Utah, Spencer Cox, speaking there. Alongside him, speaking to reporters, was the director of the FBI, Kash Patel, and other law enforcement officials. But Governor Cox spending the greatest amount of time speaking to reporters there. Just to recap, and there was a lot to go through there, just to recap the key points, he is saying that 22-year-old Tyler Robinson, who is the suspect in the shooting of Charlie Kirk, was persuaded to hand himself in by a family member. He says a family member of Tyler Robinson reached out to a family friend who then contacted a sheriff with information that Robinson had confessed or implied that he had committed the shooting. We also heard him asked towards the end of that news conference about the clothing that Robinson was wearing. He arrived apparently at the university in one set of clothing. Governor Cox said that he changed on the roof from which it is alleged he shot Charlie Kirk and then subsequently changed back into that original set of clothing. We heard that a member of the suspect's family has told investigators that Tyler Robinson had become more political in recent years. This family member recalled a recent incident in which Robinson came to dinner, mentioned that Charlie Kirk was coming to Utah Valley University, and talked about why he didn't like him and the viewpoints he had. And the family member, according to this report, said that Robinson had said Kirk was full of hate and spreading hate. My colleague, Rajini Vajanathan, is with me here in the studio, has been listening to all of that as well. So a bit more detail emerging, and really, really interesting as well, Rajini, to hear that longer statement from the governor explaining why he said we are so invested in this act of violence, given that there is violence happening right across the US.
Yeah, that was interesting. He said that this killing of Charlie Kirk was an attack on our ideas. He talked about a wave of political violence that we've seen in recent months. Of course, those two attempts on President Trump's life, the Democratic representative Melissa Hoffman in Minnesota, who was killed alongside her husband in recent months as well. There have been a number of acts of political violence. And he talked also about how young people need to come together in the afternoon.
They just showed some video. Like, I'm watching the video on the browser. My apologies. I'm not really putting it on the screen because I don't want to stream their live on mine, because I'm not sure where this is being streamed from. It's like, it's a whole technical thing with YouTube. They sometimes will block your video if it's coming from a different source somewhere like that. So I have the experience with that to know not to do that. But playing the audio is not an issue. But I'm just watching him jump off the rooftop. That's where he got injured. And I haven't really heard nobody talking about that. He got injured when he dropped off that roof. So everything that Trump talked about is 100% correct.
Aftermath of this, he talked about how there was no violence in his state in the aftermath of Charlie Kirk's killing. But he also sort of made an appeal, didn't he, Anita, to people to come together and cross the political divide and have...
And what's crazy about this, guys, when he jumped off the roof, he walked through a parking lot, right? Let me see if I can put this up here. I might do another video. Well, I'm going to do another video. He's walking through this parking lot right here. Let me see if I can pull this up. We'll get back to that live feed in a bit. But he was walking through this parking lot right here, and it's like nobody heard the shot, which is kind of crazy. Nobody didn't notice him jump off the roof. You had a car that was driving by, people walking by, and nobody really did anything. It was weird. Like when you look at the video, it's kind of weird. Like people were oblivious to who just shot somebody. Like they didn't hear nothing. Like that was kind of crazy. Let me get back to that video.
Conversations. He said, and he quoted the words of Charlie Kirk, saying, when people stop talking, that's when you get violence. So we had two elements from the governor there, didn't we, from Governor Cox? One, giving us an update that you've outlined, what more we know about the ongoing investigation, but one that was a broader appeal. The other phrase that stuck with me when he quoted Charlie Kirk was just saying, forgive people as well. Always forgive your enemies. Nothing annoys them so much. So a real call for unity, as well as an update, of course, Anita.
Very, very interesting to hear that. He said freedom of expression is enshrined in the US Constitution. Having Charlie Kirk having his life taken while in the act of expressing his thoughts makes it difficult for others to speak freely. So a real appeal, as you say there, Regini.
And that's a problem when you really think about it. On social media right now, guys, like I have a lot of people that hate me, right? I have a lot of people that wish I was dead because of my ability to speak on various issues. I'm very outspoken. And sometimes I say things that ruffle up the feathers of people. And what's crazy is we live in America and people forget that we have the right to share our views and our thoughts. And unfortunately for Charlie, someone had a deep obsession with this guy to the point where they just wanted him dead, not because they did something to them personally, but they didn't like their views. That's how sick it has become, where people are now trying to kill you because of your viewpoints. You can't even have thought patterns no more. So that affects all Americans, not just the situation with Charlie. Yes, he was the target, but anybody could be targeted now. You know, there's a lot of you that might be outspoken in the workplace, or perhaps you have a social media platform and a Facebook, a Twitter, and you always post certain things and people just don't like you. And some of these people would like to unalive you, which means to kill you. And they would think they're doing God a favor by doing that. The person who, listen, Tyler Robinson felt he was doing God a favor by taking out Charlie. He felt a sense of pleasure knowing that he's dead. This is how sick some individuals are. They literally would sit back and plot to kill you because of your views, not because you did something to them. Today's people, there's a lot of people that would crash out just because they don't like your opinion. You know? Shout out to Excedrin for the $10 support. Appreciate you sponsoring the show. Says it's sad people still mocking this young man's death. Shaking my head. Yeah, I don't get it why anybody is still trying to mock Charlie, and the man was violently murdered. And what's so crazy is the YouTuber named New Breed was 100% wrong. He told you guys that the government is going to twist the narrative and make a black man look like a black man did it. Well, that's not the case, New Breed. You lied again. I suggest you just take down all your videos. You failed. Your career on YouTube is over. Number one, you promoted nothing but hate, right? You want a race war. You bashed this man's family, his life, his legacy. You called him a white supremacist when the man was a man of faith. You understand? Yes, he was very bold. He was friends to Candace Owens. Candace Owens gave a very heartfelt tribute yesterday. And we did a reaction video to that pretty much did pretty well. And a lot of people came out in support of that. She shared a lot of details about Charlie that we didn't know. And it's unfortunate that we have so much hate in the world. So many YouTubers, so many influencers are full of hate, and they're spreading lies every day. This is why you, the viewer, have to be proactive and be smart enough not to just joined the bandwagon of haters. And unfortunately, I deal with a lot of issues concerning the black community, in terms of holding the black community accountable for their hate, crime, racism, all that other stuff. At the same time, Charlie was hated by various whites. To me, when I see black people engaging in hate against Charlie because of his opinions, it's disgusting, because they're not trying to listen to anything that he got to say. It's just because he's white. So when I speak on these issues, I get the same kind of hate from black people. The majority of my enemies are black. Believe it or not. Those of you that are viewing, the majority of my enemies look like me. And they want me dead. That's right. I've seen people make videos saying they would love to see me dead. If they would ever see me in public, what they would do to me. So this is an ongoing issue, and it needs to be resolved so that these type of things don't happen, because a lot of people are concerned. Like, I'm not afraid of anyone. I'm not afraid of death. I'm not afraid of anyone. I'm not concerned with that. When you reach my age of 48, you start to realize what life is about, and you understand that you have a mission here. And I believe that Charlie understood his mission. He knew that many didn't agree, and he knew people hated him, but I don't think he expected that he was going to die that day. You know, somebody was full of hate and decided to take him out in a vicious way, and it's sick.
To people in America, and especially young people, I think you will have heard from the governor there, Spencer Cox, to really think carefully about how they respond to this. He talked about the cancer of social media. That was the phrase he used. And he urged people to, put their phones down and to talk to their families and to step away from social media.
And when they say social media, they're not saying to step away from social media in terms of the internet completely. They're talking about how people are obsessed with other people. For example, I have a lot of haters that don't like my opinions. They don't like my viewpoints. They don't like a lot of stuff, but they watch me every day. They're watching me right now. They literally are obsessed, and they'll watch me every day just so that they can get angry. They don't like me, but they'll watch me every single day because they want something to be angry about. So social media has become a cancer in that regard. If you have an issue with somebody and you don't like their opinion, stop watching them. Seek a therapist, get some sort of help for mental health issues, because to be that invested in a person to the point where you want them to die, right? You're a very sick individual. Listen, Tyler Robinson killed a father of 2, and now his wife is a widow, all out of hate. So to all the people that hate, think about these consequences. Think about what's coming your way. It's not worth it, because we all got to die. Yeah, Charlie was taken out early. He had a lot of life to live. He was only 31 years of age, a young guy on fire, doing what he felt was his passion, whether you agree with him or not. He felt that was his mission, But for people to be laughing at his death, like I said, guys, let me see if I can get the photo for you, because I want to put this out there with this particular YouTuber, man. Let me see. Is this it? I think this is it here. Yeah. This particular YouTuber here named New Breed. Very, very sick person, guys. Very sick. This man is a black racist, and he went on a campaign, made about 3 live streams bashing Charlie Kirk, lying on him, spreading misinformation, disinformation, twisting stories and narratives, all to promote hate against a man who did nothing to him, all because he's white. All because he's white. And at the same time, what's so sad about this is that Charlie was good friends with Candace Owens, and the very same YouTuber in question was praising Candace Owens, right, praising Candace Owens because Candace stood up against a Jewish rabbi and he crowned her as this great woman. But yet Candace always spoke out against black men. She always spoke out against black on black crime and the fact that a lot of black men don't want to be in the house taking care of their kids. But yet New Breed don't have a problem with her. And it's because she stood up against a Jewish rabbi, because New Breed is a racist and he's full of hate. So what he did is he weaponized Candace Owens' stance against a Jewish rabbi, took his video off YouTube and put it on Rumble because he's a coward. He don't got the balls to do what Candace Owens did, right? But yet he's hating on Charlie, and Charlie and Candace was good friends. So I want to see, what is he going to say about that? What is he going to do now? Is he going to now bash a black woman? Because he don't like black women too. He's actually a racist. He's an opportunist, a racist, and a very unlikable person. You know, and I suggest all viewers never, ever support that particular guy named New Breed on social media. Very, very horrible person. As soon as Charlie died, he took it to social media to mock and laugh at the man's death, guy. Literally, he was laughing, saying, I don't care, ha, ha, ha. He deserve it. He's in hell. He got killed by God. All of this type of stuff. And Charlie was a man of faith. Regardless how you feel, you know, Charlie had a belief in God. Let's go back to that tape.
A fear that stokes these feelings of anger and rage. And
Anita, what struck me, I lived in America during 2016 and the election around then, before and after, of course, President Trump took office for the first time. And there was definitely a feeling of polarization then, people falling out for different views on social media. I remember spending time with some organisations that tried to work at the grassroots to get people together from polarising views and try and get them around the same table. And it feels like that call to action came again today from Governor Cox. And I was quite struck by that, because normally when you see these FBI conferences, they're much more down the line. They talk about an update on the crime. You hear from the sheriff, and they're not as emotional. The other thing, though, to point out is, of course, Kash Patel, because, of course, he...
Let me also shout out this super chat from Yang. Shout out to Yang for the $5 support. Appreciate you sponsoring the show. And good morning to everyone. Top of the morning. Hope everybody's having a blessed day. If you're on the road driving, hope you are having a blessed day at work. We're talking about the situation here. The shooter, the killer, pretty much have been identified as Tyler Robinson, 22 years of age, and he is the murder suspect, as confirmed by Donald Trump. Let's get back into that video with Trump and see what he had to say about that. Let me do this real quick. Okay, let's get back into this, because Trump was briefed about the situation, and I'm glad I did that little update because it confirmed everything that Trump was talking about. So the family of Tyler pretty much turned him in. They saw the photo. They recognized that he's family. And they said, we can't have this. They contacted law enforcement, did the right thing. And it's good that, hey, his family did the right thing. You know, they could have did what they had to do to get him out of the country or whatever have you. But they said, no, you know, you did wrong and we got to turn you in.
Of the shooter to turn them in?
Well, it was a minister, and the minister went to a minister who was involved with law enforcement, by the way. And his good friend is a top U.S. Marshal. And they took it from there. And then it was a father got involved, namely his father, and said, we got to go in. And they, so I understand it. And again, subject to change. But, you know, the facts are the facts. We have the person that we think is the person we're looking for. But they drove into the police headquarters, and he's there now.
So they drove into the police headquarters with Tyler Robinson and turned him in. So man, there's a lot of information that's coming in, guys. I don't want to be here too long. We've been on for about 54 minutes. I don't want to drag this thing on unless I have actual more updates. Let me kind of do a quick little run on Google, see what we got before I get on out of here. Maybe there's some more info. Oh, they got the arrest photo, guys. Man, let's put this out there, guys. Wow, this is crazy. 5 minutes ago. Okay, let's get this, man. I'm gonna have to update the thumbnail, man. I'm gonna have to update the thumbnail on this one. Definitely updating the thumbnail. So, yeah. Let me put this on the screen. I gotta update my thumbnail right away. Right, so this is the guy right here, guys. Updated image that has been released of the killer of Charlie. And yeah, so I'm glad I did that search. So I'm gonna pretty much update my thumbnail. And wow. So it says that Charlie Kirk suspect Tyler Robinson caught after family friend. So a family friend turned him in, officials say. A friend of the family turned him in, based on the reports. Let's see. Yeah. Suspect, not a student at Utah Valley University. So he was not a student, but he knew his way around campus, which is interesting. He's not a student, but he knew his way around the place. How did he get on the roof? You know, how did he get into the facility to get on the roof? You know, these are just some questions we're going to have to figure out later on, guys. So, hey, I'm going to get up on out of here. I don't want to be here too long. You guys have a blessed day. It is what it is. Man, you said former student. I didn't catch that part on the website. Let me see. Was not a student. Yeah, I'm just pretty much reading what they publish. It says he was not a student. So I don't know if he's a former student. I don't know. I don't got that info. I'm not going to put that out if I don't got it. Right? Maybe that might be accurate. I don't know. But he knew his way around the area to the point where he was on top of the roof and knew to jump off the roof. And to be honest, I believe that before this shooting happened, he probably went to that area at nighttime or whenever and planned this all out. Because how else would he know to notice? Why would he know the spot? I mean, you can Google Earth the place and look at the perimeter of the whole area and map it out. So he could have did that. But how would he know his escape routes and all of that other stuff? He had to really plan this out. This wasn't just something he just did overnight. So it's like, how could this even happen? All right. Those of you that are familiar with Charlie's work, right? Let me ask you a question. How many times have Charlie been at that university doing these type of debates? Was that his first time there, or was he there many times? What say the chat? Because that would answer the question. If that was his first time there, how could this guy just know to come there and do that? That don't make sense. So he had to been there a few times. For all we know, that dude probably was in the audience taking and asking questions, got pissed off with Charlie. You know? Who hired this man and the hit on Charlie? That's my question. You know, I saw a clip where you had some FBI guy claiming that he's not no professional. He have to be a professional. Come on. The accuracy of the shot, the distance of the shot. You know, you got to train for that. You got to train for that. The balls to do this. You got to have balls. You know what I mean? Not no little balls to literally carry this out and get away for a while. Who does that and get away and then there's a manhunt? Come on, man. Somebody had to hire him. But it'll all come out. That's all speculation, for the record. He looked like some Manchurian candidate. That was a good movie. Could be. I forgot what they call that mind control something, where they program somebody's mind to actually go commit these heinous acts. What they call that, guys? Y'all know what I'm talking about. Where they program your mind and you go out there and you just do weird stuff, and then you kind of wake up and you realize, like, what the hell did I do? You know? They call it, okay, MK Ultra. All right, there you go. I don't know. I don't know if that's it or not. You know? Mind control, yeah. Because the accuracy of the shot, the planning, you would think somebody was with him. So is there such a thing as mind control, where they can literally program the human mind to carry out acts, give them the knowledge, the expertise, and everything to do it? Some people will say that's all conspiracy theories. It's mumbo jumbo. I think there's some truth to it, man. I really think there's some truth to the whole MK Ultra stuff, mind control, because to get on top of that roof, to know that Charlie was there, to shoot with accuracy, one shot, one, and get his target, and then flee, and nobody was able to apprehend him during his escape. Come on, man. Something going on. I don't think that he was working alone. Maybe this will come out soon. Some people are calling him a fall guy. Some people are saying it was an inside job, that there was more than one working with him. He had to know he was going to get caught. I mean, you just can't commit this crime and not think you're not going to get caught. You think he's a mind control victim? Well, if you look at him and you look at Charlie, I mean, they could pass for family members. No disrespect to family, Charlie's family. But if you just look at that guy and look at Charlie's photo right there, they could pass for family members, which is crazy. You know, they literally look a bit alike, like you said. Yeah, that's crazy. But based on what I'm hearing, he hated Charlie's opinions. He hated Charlie's opinions and he wanted him out. Now, what's the motive? We're going to hear that down the line. What was the motive? What led to him taking Charlie out? What was it about? Because the black community are infuriated because they think that it was some racial thing. No, this is deeper than that. This is what you call, let me explain what this is, guys. Tyler Robinson, 22, the killer, is the equivalent of a troll that would be in the live comments on a YouTube video that hates an influencer for their opinions. And they'll sit there all day trolling and being angry. That's the same thing. The only difference is this person took it so serious that they decided to pretty much kill Charlie because they got tired of hearing him. You understand? And he did it in real time. And he had to know he was going to get caught. But based on the evidence, a family friend turned him in, saw the photo, said, nah, we turning you in, dog. You ain't going to be out here doing this. Like I said, it could have been a bloodbath that day. Not only Charlie could have got murdered, it could have been many students, staff members, could have got bullets lodged in their head. So even though it's unfortunate that Charlie lost his life, thank God nobody else was gunned down, because the killer could have took a lot of people out that day. He could have took a lot of people out, then unalived himself. He could have shot kids. You never know. So if anything, they got to step up the security. with all of these public debates. You got to step up the security, guys, and take these things serious. There's a lot of people out there that want people dead just because of their opinions. And this is America. And we got to be concerned about this now. So Charlie's death was an attack on all Americans, whether you see it that way or not. It was an attack on our freedom. It was an attack on our liberties. It was an attack on peace. So, and in closing, condolences again to the family of Charlie. I'm glad to know that they got the suspect involved in this shooting. And hopefully I have more information for you later on. Shout out to everybody that subscribed to the channel. I appreciate you all joining the Ringo TV Reactions platform. Without you, we can't do this. I'm deeply humbled by the outpouring of support, all the new folks that pretty much stopped by. I know you guys got busy lives and you may not even know anything about me, but hey, look around the platform, see what you see. And if you like what you like, hey, enjoy your stay. So I'm gonna get up on out of here. You all have a blessed day, a blessed day. Drive safe when you're on the road. Shout out to all my truckers out there, everybody that's at UPS, FedEx, United States Parcel Service, Amazon, all of the workers out there doing Lyft driving, door dashing. You know, appreciate all of you. Everybody on the 9-to-5 grind that are doing your job. Stay safe. Shout out to all the mechanics, all the school bus drivers, the transit workers, the electricians, everybody out there doing their thing in the salons, the barbershops, you know, everybody out there on the 9-to-5 grind, and all the farmers. Shout out to the farmers, man. You know, they don't get no love, but shout out to the farmers, everybody out there doing their thing. All the industrial workers, factory workers. Y'all stay safe. I'll catch you in another video, guys. So, hey, rate, comment, and subscribe. RIP Charlie. We'll keep you updated with more information about this case. We out of here. Y'all take care. Peace.
If you like our content, consider supporting via Cash App at $Ringo TV Raw. Become a patron on patreon.com for exclusive video content not shown on YouTube. You could also support through PayPal at paypal.me/Ringo TV Raw. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and click the bell to be notified of new content. Follow me on Instagram at Ringo TV Raw.
This is Ringo TV Reactions, the only channel on YouTube bringing you the truth, 100% raw and uncut. I'm out. Peace.